Case fans have historically been regarded as utilitarian, designed to serve a purpose, but not necessarily supposed to look good when doing so. Case fans, as one might expect, blow cool air onto your PC components and eject hot air out of the case depending on where they're configured. But again, they're not designed to be the center of attention. They're not showpieces. After all, who picked the color scheme with these Noctua fans? But eventually, PC manufacturers started incorporating LEDs to their fans to give users the option of adding a little flair to their setup. And while some manufacturers decided to incorporate RGB into their LEDs, a lot of them didn't. And instead, the LEDs in the fans only broadcasted one static color. And then 2016 came around and was like, we gonna put RGB all over this. And then every manufacturer, from Corsair to NZXT to Thermaltake, started putting RGB LEDs all over the place. And the prime example are the Corsair HD120s. These things are f***ing coated in user configurable LEDs. And initially, I was all like, I don't need these fans. I have these fans to have LEDs. I don't need to buy new fans. But then the me to me was like, yo, RGB all the things. So naturally, I picked 6 of these babies up to cover up all my fan slots, and $180 US later, you and I are gonna find out if it's actually worth these things or if you should spend your hard-earned cash on something else.
Catch me outside, how about that?
The HD120s come in a 120mm size and feature a revamped fan design from Corsair. They feature rubber padding in the corners to prevent any noise caused by fan-on-case contact. And they feature frosted white blades that help diffuse the light from the LEDs. Now these fans come in 3 different models. They come in a single pack with the LED controller, or the triple pack that also comes with an LED controller.
Oh, baby, a triple!
Speaking of the controller, that is where the magic of these fans happen. Each fan comes equipped with 2 cables, one of which is a typical PWM fan header that plugs right into your motherboard, but the other one is an LED cable that connects to the LED hub that connects then to the LED controller. And by use of the LED controller, you can kind of configure what kind of fireworks show you want going on in your case. Oh, but pro tip, make sure you wire these bad boys in order, because there is a mode that actually takes advantage of the order that they're routed in. So we're going to review these fans under 2 different perspectives. The first one is the performance of the LEDs and what they can do, how bright they get, and what have you. The second one is for the fan performance. How well do they cool? Will they keep everything at a nice temperature? How well do they do with radiators? And we're going to put these 2 together, and if they can't do both of those jobs correctly, then these fans aren't worth it. So, without further ado, let's investigate these Corsair HD120s. So let's talk about the LEDs. There are 12 embedded into the frame. 12 of those and this turns out to be 3 in each quadrant. And these LEDs can display 7 different colors, as well as be put on a feature that displays all of the colors, and also 7 different modes that are configurable by the user. So for those of you keeping track at home and crunching the math, that's 49 different combinations you can have between color and setting.
It's lit.
I mean, you right? Now I will say, these LEDs are bright, and I mean really bright. Like, before I had these fans in my case, I actually had an LED strip kit that had LEDs at the top of my case and at the bottom of my case, and these fans completely rendered it useless. So much so that I couldn't tell whether or not the strip was on or off, and I actually ended up gutting it from my case just because there was no point in having it in there. So I ended up taking my LED strip out because these fans emit so much light that it actually illuminates my entire case. Now for the performance of these fans. I'm gonna throw a bunch of raw specs out and then we'll talk about actual day-to-day performance. So, according to Corsair's website, these fans have an airflow of 54.4 cubic feet per minute and a static pressure of 2.25 millimeters of water. Now, if you actually compare these specs to Corsair's static pressure fans, the SP series, these actually have higher performance and perform better all across the board than those actual fans. In fact, the static pressure on these HD fans is so nice and so admirable, you can actually mount them on your radiators and get some solid performance like I've done with my PC. Now to the testing of these fans. I compared the performance of these HD120s to the fans that I had previously, which were the AF120s from Corsair. Inside my PC, I have an i7 6700K overclocked to 4.5 GHz, as well as an Asus Strix 980. And initially I did notice a temperature decrease. On idle, my PC was typically around 23 degrees Celsius at my CPU package and 51 degrees Celsius at my GPU die. Now with these HD fans, I did notice the decrease to 21 at the CPU package and 47 to the GPU die. So it definitely was a little bit with the CPU, but it was 4 degrees cooler with my GPU. Under load is where I definitely noticed an improvement with these HD fans. In Battlefield 1, my GPU typically would get to temperatures around 75 degrees Celsius with my airflow fans, but with the HDs, I was sitting at around 70 degrees Celsius, a definite difference in temperature. When rendering videos in Adobe Premiere 11, my CPU would typically get to around 60 degrees Celsius at the package, but with these fans, I'm getting around 57 degrees Celsius. So what does all this mean? Well, when it comes to the performance of these fans, they actually perform pretty decent. While I didn't notice that much of a difference between my AF series fans and the HD fans, I did notice a couple welcoming changes, especially 5 degrees in gaming. That's a game changer. Not to mention, these things look fantastic if your case has an open mesh front like my Carbide Air 540. In fact, the main selling point of these fans is definitely these 12 LEDs in the frame. And I must say, I have fallen in love with these fans. I do, however, have a couple small gripes with them. My first gripe with these fans is that they utilize a hardware controller as opposed to a software controller. NZXT uses a software-based controller with their air fans in conjunction with NZXT Cam, so I'm kind of left wondering why Corsair didn't include something with the Corsair Utility Engine or Corsair Link to control the LEDs in these fans via software. Instead, they opted the hardware route. So, why? My second gripe with these fans is that no matter what you do, you cannot turn the LEDs in the fan off or even dim them for that matter. And if you're like me and you share a room with someone, the LEDs light up the entire room when my roommate is sleeping and the room is dark. So for me personally, I kind of don't understand why Corsair didn't include an off button on the controller. My third and final gripe with these fans is the price. These things are not cheap. I actually dropped $180 in order to get all 6 of these fans and the LED controller. Now, if you're a baller on a budget, you should probably invest in something else. I mean, you could buy an i3 with $180, you could buy an RX 480, or even a GTX 1060 with that kind of cash. So definitely do not skimp out on actual parts that are gonna influence your performance instead of getting these fans. In my honest opinion, these fans are definitely solid, and I enjoy having them in my rig. Despite the fact that they're a little bit pricey, that they can't be turned off, and that they're not controlled via software, I still enjoy having them in my machine, and I highly recommend you picking a couple of these up, so long as you're not actually sacrificing the performance of your PC in components like your CPU, GPU, and RAM. So, if you're interested in picking up a couple of these fans, we'll put some links to Amazon and Newegg in the video description, so you can go check them out and pick up a couple for yourself. But while you're down there, if you'd like to give us a like if you like this video, that'd be fantastic. Or if you'd like to leave us a comment down below, you can give us some sort of feedback and we'll check out your comment. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, be sure to click that subscribe button and stay up to date with the latest of tech porn videos. And be sure to share this video with someone that needs a little bit more tech porn in their life. As always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to keep it locked here on Tech Porn.